Welcome once again to Ask Chuck webcast. We do this weekly when the Congress is in session. Hopefully next week, Christmas week, we won't be in session, and the week after that. So it may be about 2 or 3 weeks before I'm back with you again for another Ask Chuck webcast. That'll be the beginning of the new year, and a whole bunch of new members of Congress will be coming back. As is my tradition in this webcast, to answer a couple questions over the camera, and the rest of the questions we'll answer by mail. So I have a chance to welcome your questions from tweeting, from Facebook, or from email. So I'll go now to the questions that we have selected. From Facebook, David in the little town of Blockton says, quote, "I don't hear any senator or congressman bringing forth a bill to increase drilling in the United States. All I hear is less dependence on foreign oil. Use of our oil is less dependent on foreign oil." You're absolutely right. We should be drilling wherever we can drill in the United States or offshore to use a greater amount of our own oil, both for the economy. You know, we spend about $730 million every day importing oil. There's no sense of spending that much if we can drill our own oil here. This has taken a step backwards. Within the last month, President Obama announced that where he was going to allow drilling offshore off of our East Coast, that he's going to put that on hold for another 7 years. There's things going on in the North Slope of Alaska, as well as offshore Alaska, that likewise will put off for a long period of time drilling there. I disagree with those policies, and if I have a chance to overrule by voting for bills in the Congress of the United States to change those policies, I will do it. I do believe that there needs to be some caution coming from the oil spill in the Gulf of last April and throughout the summer, but I believe that we can drill in an environmentally safe way offshore. There's just hundreds of rigs doing that all over the planet right now. So I hope that we can have a balanced program for energy that includes not only more use of our own petroleum, but all sorts of alternative energy, wind, biodiesel, biofuels, ethanol, second generation of ethanol, solar, etc. And then of course have a component that includes conservation as well. I'll go now to the second question. Comes from Mark in Cedar Falls. He tweets, quote, "What's the status of the estate tax, particular exemption amounts and stepped up basis?" A recent compromise has been developed that would have a $5 million for husband, $5 million for wife exemption, a 35% rate, and a stepped up basis. I thank you very much for your question, and this is one of the really important aspects of this bill that hopefully the President signs before Christmas. Also, it's much more than I anticipated it would be, because the House had passed $3.5 million, 45% rate. So I feel pretty good about the $5 million, 35% rate with stepped up basis. I end my webcast by telling you what's going to go on this week in the United States Senate. I believe that this week will end the session of this Congress. Well, a new Congress will start in January, and between now and Christmas we will do two major things. One, make sure that the tax increases that would automatically happen on December 31st don't happen. There won't be more tax cuts, but we won't have the biggest tax increase in the history of the country without a vote of Congress. It'll keep taxes for the next 2 years where they've been for the last 10 years, except for a reduction of the payroll tax for 1 year by 2 percentage points. Then in addition, we have to fund the government for the rest of this fiscal year. I believe that'll be the second big thing we'll do. There may be some lesser things that are worked in, But I invite your questions the next time we have a webcast, which most likely will be the first week of January. Thank you very much.